this, and I had someone that begged me that they had an emergency come up. So I just started it. If y'all saw it come on, I apologize. They'll at least get half of it. Another thing is referrals. So when I was young, we always had, and I'll really show my age, and maybe some of you will remember this, and then you can show your age too, or maybe they're still around, I don't know. But we'd always have a church directory, like a pictorial directory. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? With your name and all that. There was this company called Olin Mills, and they may have just been a Southern company, I don't know, but they'd come and they'd do all these pictures, and you get your free 8x10, and if you gave them so many referrals, you would get like more free pictures. So, Sherry, I saw you raise your hand. Do you remember that? And so the mistake that they would make is they would tell us to list 10 people. People don't think in tens. Lori raised her hand too. That's funny. People don't think in tens. People think in ones or twos. And so when we ask for referrals, we want to ask, who do you know, not who are 10 people that you know. So if I ask you right now, who is your best friend? Usually there's a name that comes to your mind, right? Mm-hmm. Shake your head if you agree. If you don't agree, shake your head no, or not, whatever, shake your head no. If I say, who are your 10 best friends? How many of you can come out with 10 best friends right now? I get stuck at about 3 or 4. So we freeze, and we don't give them any because we don't think we can come up with 10. So think about your parties, or when you're out and about and you're talking to people, and there might be somebody that just goes, I'm not interested. So one of my favorite things that I've gotten great feedback about this is that when I ask for referrals, so when I go to parties, I take my 2 business cards and I attach it to the sample bag, or you could use our, and you could put like 3 cinnamon dusted almonds, or you could use our pre-packaged if you're out with people you don't know. Now at a party, I have no problem using a sample bag with a sea salted caramel in it and 2 of my business cards, or 3 cinnamon dusted almonds in my business card. If I'm out and about and I'm approaching people I've never met before, like I'm at the grocery store or a gas station or something like that, I like to use something that's factory wrapped, like our pretzels or our graham crackers, things like that. I always give them 2 business cards with it. And what I tell people is, if they give me a referral that either books and holds a party or joins my team, I'll turn whatever I gave them into the full size. So if I give you a sea salted caramel, now I'm gonna turn it into the 6-piece box, not the $30-something box. If I give them 3 cinnamon dusted almonds, I'm gonna turn it into the 8-ounce box. If I give them a box, if I give them a graham cracker or a pretzel, I'll turn it into the box. But those are cold leads. I would rather spend, just a little money and hand you that one little thing, and if you turn it into something, then I turn it into, I don't mind spending $18 if you give me a party or a recruit. I don't pay off until I get it, right? And so go to your parties prepared. Why do you give them 2 business cards? 1 to keep for themselves and 1 to give to a friend. Now, the best way to get referrals is when you ask for that referral is to say, Sherry, what I want you to do is, thank you so much for this referral. Will you let Lisa know that I'll be calling her in the next 2 days, and that you told her, that you recommended her? So when I call her, she's expecting my call, and you can tell her how much fun you had and how great you think she would be, or how much she would love having a party. That way, when I call her, Sherry's going, oh yeah, I was expecting your call. It's not cold. It makes a completely different impression than if I call and they go, you're who? Oh, great, Sherry gave you my name. If Sherry really thinks you'd be good, she's going to be willing to call you and say, I paid you a compliment last night. You can even give her those words. I paid you a great compliment last night. I referred you as a chocolatier with Duff Chocolate Discoveries. And tell you what, you need to talk to this lady, and if you decide to do it, I'll help you get started, meaning she'll have a party for her. Or, I know that you are the chocolate connoisseur, and I found the best company ever. Because you're my friend, I gave her your number because I know you're not going to want to miss out on this. So this gives them the confidence that when you call them, they're ready. They're waiting for your call. Now, here's the thing. Don't tell them you're going to do it if you're not going to do it. Bad advertising is better than no advertising. I mean, bad advertising is worse than no advertising. Sorry about that. Sherry's like, Sherry, she's going, are you kidding me? Bad advertising is worse than at no advertising. I'd rather you not advertise if you're not going to follow up. Make sure you follow up and do what you say you're going to do. So we've talked about drawing slips or the top of the order form. We've talked about referrals. I want you to take just a minute in your book on page 34. I want you to write down 5 people that you can get referrals from. Now, I just gave you 5, and I know we think in 1, so let me break it down for you. I want you to think of a family member, a work colleague from present or past, a club member, which could be like from a club you're in or an activity your kids are in, a best friend, and then 1 random. You get to choose. So I'll just put my timer on. I'll give you about 2 minutes. We have 30 seconds left. All right. Who, real quick, I know we don't do a lot of this, would like to share maybe a couple of people that they came up with and where they came up with them from?
I will.
Okay, Michelle?
I did come up with 5. The first one, a family member. My little sister Erin, she is a teacher. I think that she'd be able to find somebody that is organized, that will also have the skills to add to the business and add to my team. My coworker Antoinette is actually my employee. I know that she's got a lot going on, so she's not interested, but she does have a lot of friends, and she's in an area in Rhode Island where I haven't seen a lot of reps in, so she may know somebody there that would be interested, and would be a new area for our business. Shannon is the mother of one of my son's friends. She doesn't have a computer, so she wasn't interested in being a chocolatier, but she is interested in the company, so I think she would like to have somebody she is close with that is involved with the company. My best friend is Sarah, and she works in the medical field, so she does know a lot of people who are organized and driven and hard workers. And the last one, the random, is Danielle. She was my boss. She's also a PTA mom. She's a sports mom, so she does know a lot of people. She'll be able to at least give me one person, if not more.
Great list, Michelle. Hey, by the way, your friend that doesn't have a computer and she was afraid that would hold you back, hold her back, remind her there are places like the library that you can go and use a computer for free. Public library. And a lot of times reasons people don't have a computer is they can't afford it. And what a great opportunity for her to be able to make the money and be able to have that computer, not just for her deaf business, but to be able to pay her bills online. If she has children, to allow them additional study options through the internet, to connect with friends, to search topics she's interested in. So what a great opportunity that is, that you could give to her. So sometimes we have to help. We think people know, and we have to help think for them.
Okay.
Great. I have time for one more if somebody else would like to do that.
I can.
Okay, who's that? Leanne?
Leanne.
Okay, great, Leanne. Go ahead.
Okay, so I think I might have done them out of order, but
Oh, there's no order.
for my coworker, I did my friend Stacy, who she's my boss, but her and her husband own a bunch of cell phone stores, so I know they know a lot of people.
Okay.
For my family member, I did my sister, who she travels for the Marriott, so she knows a lot of people.
Right.
For my random, I did my aunt. She comes from a very rich town, and her church has a lot of wealthy moms. They're just stay-at-home moms.
Okay.
For my friend, I did my friend Kristen. She's a bodybuilder, and now it's their off season, so she's dying to get into some chocolate.
I love it.
And then I did this girl, Jessica. I know she's a Jamberry rep, but she's not doing so hot with Jamberry, so I'm trying to work on her.
Great. I love that because that's so funny because I have a friend who's a bodybuilder, and I also know the same thing. She's a the model, like, I don't think it's not about how much she lifts, it's about, she's like a physique model,
Yeah.
And it's so funny because she just had her birthday, or no, she had to have surgery. And she's like, I'm loving all the chocolate everybody's bringing me, because she goes literally months on end with eating nothing but, like chicken and brown rice and bananas or something, I think. So yeah. That's awesome. I love that. That's a great way, what a great opportunity. And then when we can show them that they can have their average lifestyle and still indulge every so often with the right kind of chocolate. Do you guys know that our white chocolate peppercorn dressing, our lemon peppercorn white chocolate, I never get the names all right, only has 50 calories a serving, and it's a 2 tablespoon serving? You can't find another product on the market like that. It's not filled with a lot of unhealthy products. It's not considered low sugar. It's not considered low fat. It's just a clean label. And I actually find I use like the Tupperware mini. That's a bowl to make my salad in, and it's like a big bowl, like it's like that. And I put 1 tablespoon, which means it's only 25 calories and some extra lime, and I have plenty of salad dressing. Where else can you find that without filling your body? We all know that if you buy something low sugar, that means they've added more fat to make up for it. If you buy something low fat, they've added more sugar. So where can you buy something that has a total clean label with that kind of healthy contents in it and the low calorie content? Don't forget, chocolate is good for you. And so that's a good thing to remind people of. So those are great lists, and hopefully that gave many of you additional ideas. So the last thing that I want to do is talk about using our cards, our food cards. Now, these are found in the back office. They're called the food cards. The reason they are is F stands for learning about their family. O stands about learning about their occupation. The second O stands for learning about their outside interests, and the D stands for finding out about their dreams. So when you're doing a Cocoa chat, and this will be our last thing that we cover this evening, these are great to use. You can actually print these off back to back on the from the connection. Go get a page of laminate. You can buy, like a laminator, or you can actually buy those laminate adhesive pages. Cut them up, hole punch them, put them on a ring, and then they always look nice. If some little child spills Coke on them, or spits up, or you squirt your ketchup at McDonald's when you're talking to someone, or whatever, it's okay. You can just wipe them off then. But what you want to do is you want to first, when you're using these are the things that are on the back of the food card that you want to learn about people. You want to learn about their family. I always take notes. If I'm talking to someone, I would say, tell me about your family. Are you married? Do you have children? Are you single? And then they start to tell you. They'll tell you the parts that are important to them. You don't have to pry a lot. If they tell you they're married, I always ask them to tell me their husband's name, because I want them to see that's of value to me, and I want to call him by name. Tell me, what are your children's names? How old are they? Because that helps me determine later, tell me about their interests. What do they do? If they're in, my kids play club sports and travel sports. I don't know if any of you have kids that do that, but let me just tell you, my boys played travel hockey. The average season cost us $6,000 just in fees. That was before equipment and travel and all of that. So anybody that knows about that, my youngest son coaches volleyball. I know what he gets paid, so I know what those parents make. My husband is a private hitting and pitching coach for girls fast pitch softball. I know the expense that this goes to people. So we learn, and we can talk about those things. So just even if we make comments like, "Wow, that must be really expensive," Or if they have a husband, what does he like to do? Maybe he golfs or hunts. Oh my goodness, both of those are expensive hobbies, aren't they? They might have a race car. Who knows? Talk to them, get to know, learn about them. The second thing you want to know about is their occupation. You want to know if their current outside of the home occupation, if they have one, what they've done in the past, and if they've ever done direct sales. The reason you want to know their current occupation is a lot of times, let's say they're a nurse. You can say, oh my gosh, nurses are great in this business because they're nurturing. It comes very natural. Many of them work with lots of different people. They're a teacher. Oh, this is a natural thing. If they're an accountant, oh, the paperwork's going to come so easy to you. Use whatever they're doing as a benefit. If they are currently a stay-at-home mom, find out what they've done in the past. Most people have some past work experience. So that's another thing you want to find out about. Then you want to find out if they've ever done direct sales before in the home party world. And I asked this question, was it a good experience or a bad experience? So I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, which is the Mary Kay Mecca. Well, I heard all the time when I would say, have you ever done a direct sales before? They'd say, yes, I did Mary Kay. Was it a good experience or a bad experience? Many said it was a good experience, but whenever I heard it was a bad experience, it's because I invested $3,000 in inventory and it's sitting out in my garage. My husband said I can never, ever do this again. And that's when I get to say, well, guess what? We don't even want you to have inventory. We want to send the freshest chocolate possible to your new recruit, to your customers. By the way, you can't, even if you want to carry inventory, it's hard to guess what you want to buy. If they said it was a good experience, I'd say, what was good about it? Oh, I loved meeting people. I loved doing the parties. I loved building a team, and I got to reinforce. Guess what? You're going to get to do that again. So you want to learn about their outside the home experiences. You want to learn about their direct selling experiences. You want to learn about their outside interests. So if someone would have asked me about my outside interests, say, you know, when I was 35 and my kids were kind of like school age, I said, well, my outside interests really revolve around my kids. We're at the hockey rink, we're at an orchestra concert, you know, we're at a volleyball game. And then they could have said, oh my gosh, that sounds really expensive. Tell me, what do they do? Do you ever find a need that you could use extra income just to, you know, support those habits? Yes, I could. Talk about my church and the involvement that I had there. Oh, what do you do? Well, I work with a youth group. Oh, are they ever looking for fundraisers? So it gives me a chance to really partner with them and learn about them and build a relationship. And it says, I am interested in you. I am not telling them anything about you, but I might go, I can relate. But they don't care. Honestly, when we tell our story, we tell it to create vision and desire. But quite honestly, no one cares if you pay your bills. No one cares if you go to Maui. No one cares if you like the hours. They want to know, how's this going to work for them. Would y'all agree? I mean, really, we only tell that story to create vision and desire. And then the last thing is that outside, well, not the last, but the next thing I'm sorry, it is the last, the dreams. You know, that's why I was asked the question, if you had $500 to $1,500 a month, what would you do with it? Would you buy a new car? Would you live in a different house? Would your kids go to a different school? Would you pay off student loans? Would you just make ends meet like I did, you know, a little bit better at the end of every month? Would you buy more shoes if you always dreamed of owning a Louis Vuitton purse? Travel? What would you do? They say they'd want a sports car. You know, if they say I'd drive a different car, say, what does it look like? What's that? Is there one you really want? They say they would travel. Where would you go? What's on your bucket list? Get them thinking about reality. One of the most common things I hear is, I want to take my kids to Disney World. I probably hear that out of all the answers people could give. Do you realize I want to take my kids to Disney World is probably 25% out of the millions of answers they could give me? And I'll say to them, do you know how much it would probably cost? How do you want to do it? So I know, oh man, let's see, when did I do it? In 1995, I took my kids for a dream trip. I always want to take my kids on a dream trip to Disney World. And it cost our family about $6,000 for 5 days. But now, it was a dream trip. We flew, we rented a car, we stayed at the Polynesian Hotel, you know, on the Disney property. We had a concierge room. We did whatever they wanted. So today, I'm guessing that same trip for 5 days, park passes, a park hopper for 5, would easily cost $10,000. But guess what? Do you realize that if you were to hold 2 parties a week for 6 straight months, you can make $10,000? 2 parties a week at $400 a party, $1,500 a month, you're there. It's not 2 or 3 or 4 years out. It could be in 6 months if that's what you want. Maybe, you know, you live here and your family's from Ireland and you'd love to take your family back to Ireland. Maybe your dream is to own a pop-up camper and be able to take your family every weekend during the summer camping. We had a goal once was to own a boat. So every weekend in the summer, I'm not kidding you, every single weekend I worked my tail off Monday through Thursday because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we were on our boat. And I mean, I worked hard. Then as our kids got older, my kid's dad, my ex-husband, always said, Lori, if it's something for those kids, you can figure out a way to have it. Well, our kids got older, and I decided I wanted 2 Sea-Doos because when we're out on the lake in Texas, we don't have beaches on our lakes because they're Corps of Engineer lakes mostly. We don't really have anywhere to dock and hang out. So I wanted 2 Sea-Doos. Do you know that one year I set my goal to make $21,000 and buy 2 Sea-Doos cash? Do you know what it was like to walk into Cowtown Sea-Doo of Fort Worth on I-20 and write them a check for $21,000 and hand it to them? That's what drove me. We paid our bills with this, so I had to pay my bills and then make $21,000. But paying bills doesn't drive me. I wish it did, but it doesn't. So I always have to have a goal bigger than my bills because I know I have to pay my bills. So I have a goal bigger than that. These are the things that you can have, and these are the things that you want to learn about people. Those are dreams. So then what you do is you take the cards and you lay them out and you say, you know, there's 5 cards: time, money, fun, simple. Time, money, fun, simple, and support. Time, money, fun, simple, and support. Yeah. And you lay them out there, and I would say, you know, Lori, tell me, which one of these, like, speaks to you the most? You may not even go through all 5 of them. Do you know that I have had people never say money? Never say money. Never ask me what the kit cost. But really what they want to know is they're going to get support, and they want to know how simple it was. Others, they want to know about fun, time, and money. Simple and support didn't matter to them. They just want to make sure it was fun. They want to make sure that they want to know how much time it was going to take and how much money they're going to make and what it was going to cost them. So don't worry about going through all 5. Some will want to know all 5. I'm going to wrap up with something I learned this weekend that I thought was brilliant. There's a great gal, her name is Wendy Wodorowski, and she lives in Wheeling, or basically Wheeling, Ohio. She really has an Ohio address. But anyway, I don't know exactly where, but it's like 5 miles outside of Wheeling, West Virginia. And I was with her this weekend. She's a new team leader and a future manager. And she's very shy and introverted, not like me. So she was having a hard time getting people to ask her questions about her job, or just really maybe wasn't comfortable. So what she does, and I love this, she goes to her parties with 5 little goodies. They're like sample bags. They might have a sea salted caramel and a couple of cinnamon dusted almonds in it. And then she goes with some backup, like vitalized packages, very inexpensive. And she said, I literally sit on the floor. I lay the 5 cards out, and I said, I'd love to tell you about my job. But instead of just telling you, I'm going to let you choose what are the important things you want to hear about. And when you choose something that's on the table, I'm going to give you a gift, and I'm going to share with you. So she lays the 5 cards out, and she says, when you look at these cards, it doesn't even matter how many people's in the room. And you see the one that resonates with you, let me know, and I have a gift for you, and I'll tell you about it. So let's say someone says time. She hands in a gift, and she says, she basically reads the stinking card. It's so easy. Now, of course, she elaborates, adds her personality, and she gives them a gift. And then she goes, does someone else want to know something else about this? All of us can read cards, right? And tell a little more. If you've joined, you know a little more than what's written back there. And that way, you're really giving people, you're finding out, at least from the people in that room, what's most important to them. If they pick time, time's most important to them. If they pick support, support's most important to them. So let that be your guide, and that's what we're going to wrap up with tonight. So we're going to say that our homework tonight, again, for many of you, you've not finished your list of 10, so we're going to finish the list of 10. I want you to find a way to use those cards. Go print them off in the back office if you don't have them. Use them one-on-one. Use them at a party. Use them at a cocoa chat. I don't care how you use them, but I want you to use them. And we're going to continue with our 21 days to success. So here's your homework. 21 days to success. Use the food cards. Get referrals from at least 3 people. And like I said earlier, work on your list of 10. I hope that some of you that haven't already joined one of our small groups will find a way to do it. We do not have a call next week because it's Thanksgiving and I'm actually on vacation. And we don't have small groups. So our next small groups will be on the 30th of this month. That's the next time. You'll have 2 weeks actually to work on this. And then our next Promote with Passion call will actually be on December 1st. So no calls, no follow-up next week, but we'll be having small group coaching on the 30th, and our next call will be on the 1st. I will be available by phone or email through Friday of this week. Then I will be on vacation, but I will look forward to getting back with all of you. Before we wrap up, does anyone want to share any last minute thoughts or learnings? We have about 2 minutes before we're done. All right, then we're going to wrap up. Thanks, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't talk to you before then. And let's wrap up this month super, super, super strong. There's a lot on the table and a lot of you right on the verge.
Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
Bye.